All right, guys. Today we have Bailey with us. Bailey has been working with us for almost a year, and man, the progress you've seen over the past year has been really inspiring, and it's just been fun to watch you build and even see like the mental unlocks that you get along the way. When you first started with us, like, as we just talked about before, is like you were selling $50 programs, $100 programs. I did that too when I started, and you're making maybe less than $1,000 a month, and now we're sitting here a little less than 12 months later. You just had a 13K month. 14K in revenue, launching some ads and starting to really see some traction. And yeah, man, your journey has just been really, really fun. And I wanted to highlight you on here, bring you on here because there's a lot of people that are in your shoes. And this is kind of more for the beginner level coaches who just get started. Yeah, I want to share your story because you work hard, you are the attractive character, you bring really good energy. And yeah, I just want to highlight you, man. So thank you so much for being with us here today. And let's just get started by, telling people here who it is that you serve and how you help them.
Cool. Yeah, so basically, kind of right now, my audience is kind of just men in general. I'm kind of more transitioning toward dads lately, just because I'm about to be a father myself. Just find out the wife's pregnant about a month ago, so gonna be a
Woo!
dad here in February coming up. So that's kind of what I'm transitioning more, but kind of help everybody from all aspects. I was a former wrestler. That's what I did my whole life. From there, I needed to find a new competitive outlet. So then I went to powerlifting, did bodybuilding, and then more recently, now I'm doing triathlons and ultra marathons too. So I've kind of hit a little bit of everything on the training spectrum. So I kind of work with almost everyone across those spectrums is what I'm at.
That's cool. I didn't know you're into the ultras and getting into endurance stuff too.
Yeah, so I did my first 70.3 mile triathlon, half Ironman last August. I'm getting ready for a 62-mile ruck, so 100 kilometers.
Wow.
And then next year I'll be doing the full Ironman, which is 140 miles. Yeah.
Dude, I love that. So what inspired you to start coaching online and doing this stuff? Because it sounds like you've got a big history, training history, right? Of like all these things, bodybuilding, powerlifting, now endurance. So what got you into this stuff?
Going back to kind of wrestling, when I was 15 years old, I wrestled in the lightest weight class possible. I was 103 pounds. I was 103 pounds soaking wet, maybe. Super skinny. And one day I lost a match that I was the better wrestler, but I knew I lost because of strength, right? The guy just outmuscled me. And the minute I stepped off that match, I basically lived in the weight room, started eating everything, and it transformed me not only just as a better athlete, but into a better man. And I saw what it did for my overall life in general, just the motivation and discipline it took me in all aspects of my career, finances, relationships. So I saw what it could do for me. So I wanted to help people do the same. So like kind of my mission is pretty simple is I want to help people live the healthiest life possible so they can be with their loved ones longer, right? Because if you're not taking care of your health, we know you're gonna have a shorter lifespan. So if I can, even in my short or my career, even if I help under 1,000 people, well, that's 1,000 people that I extend their lives so they can be with their kids, be with their wives longer, be with their grandchildren or whatever. So that's kind of my mantra of why I got into training online.
Yeah, I love that because I think so many people, they're just focused on the training or they think they're selling training. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I'm just selling workouts and programming and nutrition supports. That's the feature, right? The benefit is the life extension is like better quality of life, is feeling more energized, feeling more confident. Like, man, if you feel more confident, like what else can you do in the business area, right? Or like for your career, for your
Yeah.
family, because you have more energy versus just like, working 9 to 5, coming home, drinking beer and just kind of being miserable. I'm like, oh, I gotta start this over again tomorrow, versus like being excited to train and take care of yourself.
Yeah. 100%, man. I post about it all the time. If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of the ones that depend on you? You know what I mean? So,
You can't. Yeah. Well,
exactly.
tell me more about like you getting started. Because when we first met, like you had a full-time job, right? You said you're doing some programming on the side, writing some programs. So walk me through the first like program you sold. When was it?
Well, look, high school and college, I was always known as the fitness meathead,
Yeah.
basically. I before I even charged people 50 to 100 bucks, I mean, I was helping people for free, full workout programs on Google or Excel sheets, full diet plans. I was doing all that. I did it for free for probably 4 or 5 years. And then finally I was like, okay, I can't keep doing this for free. I was like, I'm spending 3 or 4 hours on these programs. Most people quit 2 days later, so I'm just wasting my time. So at the very least, I'm gonna get paid at least 50 bucks, give me some beer money in college. You know what I mean? So first program, yeah, I couldn't tell you who it was, probably a high school buddy. Actually, I do remember. His name's Seth New. Charged 75 bucks for a full program, and we did like weekly check-ins or just via emails, nothing crazy. We just used a Google Sheet. So yeah, that was probably 2017-ish, so about 8 years ago.
Wow, 8 years ago. Yeah, man, that reminds, yeah, that's similar. I was the same guy in high school. I started a weightlifting club in high school because I just liked it so much. And I was like, I can program for all these people. I'm going to introduce them to like, the barbell, So, but yeah, I didn't charge for anything. I was just like, do this, you're gonna get super strong, But then they'd fall off and you're just like, well, I thought I wrote the best program ever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you put a lot of time into it and you're just like, oh, you're back to doing nothing. Awesome. Just wasted 3 hours of my life for no reason. So it's like, now I gotta start making at least some money off it. Like, cool. If you want to fall off, cool. At least I got paid. So that was the mindset back then.
It's funny, man. So that was like 2017. Walk me through that all the way until 2024.
Okay, yeah. So I got an internship at a company called Simon Property Group. They own a bunch of malls across North America. Working in IT, worked my way up from an intern all the way up to a network engineer. So that was what I did from 2016 through 2022. And again, I was just always working out still. Again, just then I eventually did like 150 a month, but never advertised it, never advertised coaching. It was just people came to me and I was like, yeah, I'll make you one. It's going to be this. I left the IT gig for 3 years to actually start up a plumbing company with a buddy. Super smart plumber. He knew me as kind of a systems guy. He's like, hey, man, I need somebody to kind of be an operations manager to kind of create some systems and get everything up. So I left IT for 3 years, built that up, got to the point where we actually got that running to a 7-figure company now. We were partners, but I still wasn't my own boss. And I was like, hey, man, I already got this up and running for you. Like everything's going well. I was like, I think I'm just going to step back and do my own thing. At the time, I didn't have a backup plan. I just left. So I kind of went back to the IT job, just on like a little contract, just temporary one. I was like, cool. Give yourself a year contract with this old job. You got a year to figure something out. Then I happened to stumble across your page. I kept seeing your stuff for months and months. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to sign up. Let's get on a call. Let's see what happens. Like, let's try to make this coaching thing a full-time gig. Let's just see what happens. Like, worst case, you fail. Like, you tried in the past, whatever, you go back to IT, go back to the plumbing business. But no, I discovered, like I said, you guys, Growth Accelerator, jumped on board, like I said, September 2024, and here we are now. I left my 9 to 5 and coaching full-time for a living now. So it's been quite a journey over the last decade or so.
That's awesome, man. Good for you. I mean, yeah, the plumbing company, were you an equity owner in that? Like, do you
Yeah.
have,
So I still have equity in it. Yep.
oh,
So
you
it's
still,
20.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I help out every now and then. Basically, I help them with their books a little bit here and there. Nothing crazy, but just anytime some type of system or something needs built, he'll contract me to come in and help out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, tell me more about, like, we were talking offline and off air about this, but like, what was your day like, right? When you were starting this business? Because I think most people don't realize, or they underestimate how much time and work goes into building a coaching business. You can't just make a social post and just be like, all right, I'm posting every day. I'm going to start making sales. Like, you got to work, you know? So
Yeah.
what was your like average day like for that first, 6 to 12 months if you really get this thing started?
Yeah, so for anyone that thinks it's just posting content and just, oh, clients will come to, no, there's not. So when I first started, obviously I love the gym. So evening workouts were no longer an option because I work 9 to 5. So obviously I can't take calls at a job. So I have to take calls in the evening. And whenever I didn't have calls, I'd have to use that time to build the company. So basically the schedule was I wake up 5 a.m. I'm in the gym by probably 5:45, 6 a.m. I commute about half hour to my gym. Workouts till 7:30. Go to the 9 to 5, come home, maybe do a quick walk with the dogs, say hi to the wife, and then lock myself in the office and work from about 6 p.m. to midnight. Most nights, 11 p.m., midnight. Working, 60, 80-hour weeks for the last 8, 9 months. Because it's the only time I had to grow the business. If I was lucky, the 9 to 5, it was slow, I could work on it there, but not always the case in IT. So yeah, it's what you have to do. If you're not willing to sacrifice your evenings to build something, like you're never gonna be able to work for yourself. And that was always kind of my mindset. Like, hey, this sucks right now, but
Yeah.
it will pay off in a year or two. And so finally, after a year, I'm here now. I'm still working a lot, but a lot more freedom. I don't have to go to a job I hate anymore. And so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I think a lot of the ads and marketing that works to get people started in a coaching is like, look at this lifestyle business. I'm in Bali, look at this nice, like, this view and stuff. And like people don't realize is yes, that is a possibility. It's kind of a lifestyle business, but you've got to go through this period of testing, I guess is the best way. I don't want to say it's not hard, but it is like you do have to spend a lot of time
Oh yeah.
failing and testing
Yeah.
new things, right? Like test this offer, test this sales process, test this, DM strategy, test these ads. Like you got to go through this period of like, what am I really doing? And you have to learn just by messing up. And I think why one of the reasons I brought you on here is because you worked really hard through that phase period, and it got you to the point where you can quit your job and go full time on this. Some people never get to the point where they can actually leave. They don't devote the amount of time and energy into it. And
Mhm.
it's kind of like training, right? Like you got to go through the training to get the adaptation to be stronger, right? So it's like you have to put those reps in. And the same thing kind of goes for business too. The only time that is not the exception to that would be like if you had a massive following. But most people that I know who start their businesses, like you included, don't start with that. Nick, you're
No.
starting to amass one over here on Twitter now, which is really, really exciting. Yeah. So I just want to commend you for like, sticking through it because most businesses fail. those coaches fail. And it's harder than ever now to start a coaching business and be successful. You've done a really good job of just like continue to show up.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. A lot of grinds, a lot of late nights, a lot of times where I'm like, is this worth it? You know what I mean? So I'm glad I stuck it out too, man.
Yeah. So let's talk about more about your current offering. So how do you have it structured, right? You said you're working with a lot of parents. It sounds like parents, dads are kind of the direction that you're going here, mainly men. What does your offering look like? Like, how do you have it packaged? How long do you work with them? What do they typically pay? Let us know.
So I'm at the point now where I'm kind of getting to the point where I kind of want to scale back on my clients a little bit. So I just recently hired an assistant coach to handle the influx of new clients that are coming on. So basically, it kind of just depends, right? And based off the call, I kind of qualify them like if they're more advanced, that's kind of what I'm more working towards, right? Those powerlifters, bodybuilders, triathletes, something that needs more sophisticated programming. If it's more, I can tell they're beginners and they just need some guidance. They've never done this before. That's kind of where I'm going more to the assistant coach. So basically, the assistant coach, it's 2K for 4 months. To work with me, it's 4K for 4 months. Recently, we've been trying to up that and try to get a paid in full offer. Overall, comes out to 2K with the assistant coach, 4K with me.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. In and out a little bit, but then we'll kind of just repeat 2K
Yep.
for 4 months for assistant coach, 4K for you. We just doubled it, which
Correct. Yeah.
we want. Cause like, and now, as we kind of talked about, like how much time, energy and stuff you spent in the beginning parts, it's like for us to go from like 10K to 50 to 100K, it's like we have to start replacing ourselves, right? I mean, depending on how much you're charging with at that rate, even at 2K, 5 clients a month, at 2K would get you to 10K. But like if we wanted to get to 50K at a 2K price point, we need to sell, what is that, 25 units a month? 25 units. If it's a 4 month program, that's 25 times four will give us
Mhm.
100 clients. So we would need to be working with 100 clients at a time to hit 50K, if my math is right. Yeah, you could do that, but how would you do that? Plus do delivery, plus do marketing, right? Creating content, running ads, plus, if you have an appointment setter who's working those leads too, it just becomes to be too much. And how many clients did you have total before you hired your current assistant coach?
I think once I got to 25, I was like, all right, I need to get some help. I think 25 would be my max ever. Ideally, I'd like to be around 15 so I can scale the business. Because if you're spending all your time on client work, you know what I mean? That's good. You're making money, but you can't grow the business. You're gonna be kind of stuck at where you're at. So yeah, when I got to 25, I was like, okay, I need some help. And so
Yeah,
now I got him up to about 15 clients right now. So basically
perfect.
to get him to 30, 35 or so, and then hire another assistant, kind of make him the head trainer where he can kind of just handle the training side and I can just keep focusing on the stuff that drives the business, content, ads, marketing, all that.
Yeah, I love that because I think a lot of people realize or they think that the coaching element is like, I mean, it is the most important thing because you have to get the results you're promising, but it's also
Right.
one of the things that's easiest to outsource because there's so many passionate coaches out there that love it, but
Yes.
hate marketing or hate sales or don't understand the business numbers and side of things. So it's
Hmm.
actually a lot easier like to find somebody and you can even train them up. But yeah,
Yep.
I know I like that. 2025 is good. I've seen some people push it to 40 clients and then hire, but
Oof.
yeah, just the service delivery on 40 clients is going to be not as premium as like a 20, 25.
Yeah. And I mean, I give a good amount to my offer, you know what I mean? So it's like on top of everything they're getting, the training, right? It's all through an app, but I do weekly video check-ins where I'm actually analyzing their app, all their data. It's not just a check-in form and then a quick 30 seconds. Like each client, I mean, it's 10 to 20 minutes on a check-in. Take that times 25. I mean, my Mondays is basically all client days, you know what I mean? So if I get up to 40, 50 clients, it's going to take 2 or 3 days. It's 2 or 3 days. I'm not growing the business. I
Yep.
can't ever grow that way. So yeah.
Yeah, no, you're making the right moves there. So that's where that's at. That's super helpful for everybody. And talk about your like sales process right now. Are you doing a 1 call model, 2 call? Like how are you enrolling clients?
Doing 2 call, so a 15-minute connection call where I kind of qualify them, and then if it makes sense, I'll invite them to a Zoom call from there.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Have you tried the 1 call at all yet, or?
Yeah, the issue was right now I'm still dealing with quality of leads. A lot of time is right. If I'm doing a 45-minute call, it's blocking off basically an hour of buffer time. 3 calls booked tonight. That's all I could do at the time, right? With a 9 to 5. And then 3 calls were no show, or you go all the way to the end. They're like, I have $3 in my account. I'm just okay. So I was like, I'm just gonna qualify them real quick, right? So now I have an application from there that they got to fill out a certain application. If it answers yes to the finance portion, it redirects them to the calendar page. If it says no, it redirects them to my low ticket offer. So that's been helping a little bit too to get better quality leads on the calls. And then from that quick 10-minute call, I can tell if they're serious or not with the 10 questions I ask them.
Yeah, I love that. And that's typically what I'll recommend too for people getting started is like the 2 call works really well, even if you're not good at sales, because you can talk to them twice, right? So it's
Yeah.
like you have those two touch points before you even talk about like what your offer price is and stuff like that. And then
Yep.
as you scale though, that's where, and again, once much quality gets better too,
Right.
you kind of like what we'll do is we'll see if somebody, based on the conversation and the context that they come in with, we'll kind of determine, all right, is this person a good fit for a big, is it more of a beginner? We're going to give them a 15-minute call. If they
Mhm.
already know how this thing goes, let's say if a coach came to us and they're already doing 10K a month plus, we're going to go
Right.
straight to a sales call because they get it. You know what I mean? Versus like a beginner's got some mindset, confidence stuff. But again, for health and fitness, like where you're at, it's helpful. It's super helpful to make sure you have good quality. Better show is for the 45, and also better closing rate. Like those that do show up after having 2 touch points are gonna have should have a higher close rate than that of one.
Yeah, and I kind of do that too. Like I've noticed Instagram's more of the beginner clients. That's where I mainly do it. Twitter is like my kind of main platform. A lot more advanced users on there, right? Guys that are following people like me with a lot of experience, and I can just tell based off the DM. If that's the case, I can tell they're advanced. Yeah, we're going straight to a one call close. So it's kind of just based off the DMs, basically.
Talk more about Twitter because even you just got on this call. You're like, hey man, I'm running behind. I'm setting up some Twitter ads. But like you've been seeing a lot of growth on Twitter here, or X, whatever you want to call it. Twitter X, same thing. What have you been doing over there, and like what's making that work for you?
Yeah, so I honestly, Twitter's my favorite platform. I love writing. I mean, I could batch a month's worth of content in 2 hours. So I use a software called Hype Fury where I can schedule it all out a month in advance. But I've been on Twitter since high school. But obviously, from what it was in high school to now is completely different.
Yeah.
Used to be kind of like MySpace. You just post, oh, I'm going to the movies Friday night. Now it's like I said, a lot of like whatever you want to learn. Like Twitter's almost like a YouTube university. Like you can learn a lot in there if you follow the right people. So yeah, I started posting consistently of January 2024. I remember I started New Year's. I was like, my resolution that year was to post on Twitter minimum 3 tweets a day. And so I've been sticking to that standard anywhere on average 3 to 12 tweets a day for over 2 years. I started at like 700 followers. I'm now close to hitting 11,000 in about a year and a half, give or take. I just noticed a lot more serious like Twitter people. So I've noticed like people on Twitter are more advanced in the fitness realm. And then like TikTok. I don't want to get going on that one. Um, But yeah, Twitter just I don't know, I love it. I just love writing. It's so much easier to make content. Like Instagram, I gotta write the script, I gotta write the caption, I gotta get it to a video editor, I gotta upload it. Twitter, I can just write and boom, I can just get content. And then whatever's happening, right? I'm going through something in a workout. I'm like, hey, this is actually something that'd be really beneficial that people would find valuable. I could write on my phone real quick in the middle of a set, boom, done. It could blow up overnight and I just signed 4 clients or something. Instagram,
Yeah.
I can't do that. You know what I mean? So that's what I kind of
I love that, man. I mean, because I resonate with that a lot. Like if I could just do two social platforms, it would be YouTube videos and then emails.
yeah.
I like those two, but I also do like to repurpose the YouTube video into
Yep.
carousels because like a YouTube video typically has like chapters, right? It's like,
Right.
yeah, here's my 5-step process, and it's like, all right, there's five different tweets I can make based off each step. And there's
Mhm.
one big carousel that I can make that has the 5 things. And I've been using a lot of GPTs to try to just have that whole process like just
Oh
like
yeah.
automated.
I actually worked on it this morning. GPTs for everything. So I got like a content calendar. Yeah, so I repurpose all my tweets now. I don't know why. I have I have this Google document that's like literally probably 400 pages long of all my tweets. So I can repurpose them anytime. I just built a prompt like last week to really good prompt to turn a tweet into a reel, a B-roll, a carousel, whatever I want. So I'm like, cool. I'm trying to think of different content ideas for Twitter and Instagram. Like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you're adding too much work. So now I just GPTs for everything. If you're not at this stage in life, like you're falling behind.
Seriously. Oh man, I'm deep in it this week as well. I was posting our thread today. I was like, one YouTube video is gonna make all these things. AI is gonna do this, and it's gonna take this over here and this over here. And like the thing is, it's actually getting really good. Like the outputs are pretty good. Now I still gotta update the output a little bit. The copy's not always the exact way I want, but it's getting there with some of them. What are you using for your writing? Are you using ChatGPT, using Claude?
ChatGPT. I use
Yeah.
ChatGPT for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to really like Claude, man.
Really? That's what I'm hearing. I've heard like you and some, I think Jessica or someone was talking about it. So I kind of started to look into it a little bit.
It's a little bit more wordy. Like I'm like, oh, the script's great, and then I'll film a video, and I'm like, that was a 2 minute, like 3 minute reel. I'm like, oh shoot, it looked good, it sounded good, but then when I said the whole thing, I'm like, man, it definitely sounds more conversational. A lot of my like emails or longer form stuff
Gotcha.
will kind of lead with that. Yeah, dude, I don't know. We're in a in a super interesting time, like I said, with all of just the
Yeah.
changes and developments. Like
I can't imagine what's gonna be like in 5, 10 years.
Dude, I mean, I can't either. I don't know. I mean, people are still going to pay for access, right? They're still going to want to work with you or work with the
Right.
founder. Like, so the founder is like the face of the brand is still going to
Mhm.
be probably one of the best assets you can create now is still a brand because even if there are a bunch of automations and things that do things for you. Well, cool, you can buy it from somebody, you know, and I think everybody
Right.
still wants that like personal touch a little bit, you know?
100%. Yep.
All right. So you're posting on Twitter and you're posting there or X 3 to 12 times per day. How many sales calls are coming just from X alone on that?
So I honestly didn't like kind of promote my services until like this year. Honestly, I always just posted value all the time, but started posting like, hey, I'm a coach, I do this, like optimize my bio and everything. So now it's getting to the point, just organically. I mean, I'm getting probably at least 2 sales calls a week from it now, and that's just
Great.
organic. As of literally right before this call, I now have X ads set up. So just like meta campaign, I now have my free training, retargeting campaign going over there. So I'm like, cool, if I signed 10 clients in the last 2 months on Twitter, just organically, like what can I do with ads over there? And ads are way cheaper. I've been kind of testing like just a simple reach campaign. So like
So
Facebook,
cheap, bro. It's so
so cheap. Yeah. Like on Facebook, we're looking for like under $30 for 1,000 impressions. I get 50 cents for 1,000 impressions over there.
it is
Five,
unfair.
$5 a
You're gonna
day.
watch this right now and be like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, yeah, it's so cheap over there. Now, yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't used a lot of the conversion ads and stuff. So I know you just set them up. I'm curious to see the quality that comes through, but for top of funnel stuff, like Twitter's like as long as you're posting consistently, like
Yeah.
how many since you launched those, does it track how many, I don't know if it's subscribers or followers?
Followers. Yeah.
Does it track how many you've gained since you started just the top of funnel?
Yeah, so the followers isn't like as drastic as Instagram. Like I think I've gained like 100 followers in the last probably 3 weeks, which not terrible, but like when I'm running my follower out on Instagram, I'm averaging like anywhere from 20 to 50 followers a day based off how much I'm spending. So the followers not as much, but like my pin post has 500,000 impressions in the last 3 weeks.
Wow.
That's just kind of my story, like I talked about at the beginning of this call. Scrawny wrestler, just how I got to where I'm at. People are liking it, but I booked a couple calls off it. You know what I mean? I'm still trying to figure out how to track all the metrics like I do Instagram because it's just completely different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's dirt cheap for everything. So I'm like, worst case can happens, it doesn't work, whatever. But if I can get everything organically over there, like I said, 2 grand on Instagram might isn't that much, but 2 grand on Twitter, that's a lot in ads.
A lot. That's a
In
lot.
terms
Yeah.
of reaching people, yeah.
It's just not, I don't know many like coaches run ads just on
Right.
X. And I think it's because it's like it's an unknown platform. There's so many trainings on the internet on how to run Facebook ads or
Oh
you know,
yeah.
like there's not a lot on there's some on YouTube ads, but not as much for fitness. The competition's so much lower, and that's what raises your CPMs, right? So like
Yep.
$30 CPMs on Instagram is because everybody bids for Instagram because that's what they post on.
Right.
You go to a new platform, it's like if no one's posting on here, it's going to be dirt cheap. And then eventually, if it's performing well, the market will be like catch on and be like, oh, we got to do this too. You know, so
Right.
let's test these things out. And if they perform, like keep writing that out and just like keep spending more.
I'm kind of hoping they take off where I can just kind of, I'll always do all platforms because I've signed a client from all of them, but like I want that to be the majority of my time spent if I can, but that also
Yeah.
depends on how the ads do, so we'll see.
Yeah, dude, if you could just write, man, that's nice. Yeah, I agree. I'm there with you. Well, cool. Tell me more about the Instagram strategy. What have you been doing over the last 3 to 6 months to grow over there?
Yeah, so it's nothing too crazy. At least 5 posts a week is kind of what I'm averaging. I try to post a story every day, so I kind of repurpose those tweets. Use a tweet pic, which basically makes a nice clean screenshot, and I'll upload them to a story, kind of like more value post, step by steps, how you're gonna help. So I'll put those in my stories. So yeah, it's nothing crazy, but basically a combo. I normally do like 1 or 2 client testimonials, so whether it's a before and after or like a Google review the clients give me. Do a couple, 2 or 3 reels. I got a pretty badass video editor that makes everything looks nice, but split up kind of like in pillars between training, diet, step-by-step guides, just kind of any overall general fitness advice.
Nice, nice. And what about ads over there? Because you mentioned follower ads, bring on Meta side.
Yeah, so I have a follower ad running 24/7 basically, and then free training ads. Right now I'm doing DM ads, about to start working on conversion ads here the next month. I'd like to get that up and running here shortly, but seeing pretty good results already.
Nice. You said November. You kind of cut out there. You said you started running ads
Yeah,
in November.
yeah, November of 2024 was when I started, so still pretty new in the ad space over there.
Yeah, I think the follower ads have been the most profitable for you so far, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Meta. Yeah.
Yeah, and Meta, yeah.
Yeah, we're still seeing that across. I mean, not across all accounts, but if you can get them to work, they work really well. And then, like, yeah, kind of your ascension is like, all right, you got those. Now can we run some DM ads, whether they're direct ads or they're kind of a free training that just gives a program breakdown overview of what you do, but also gives some value too. And yeah, then we just launched some new creatives on that last week, and already have a couple calls booked too.
Got 6 calls booked this week. So fingers crossed, we'll see how it goes.
Nice,
A
man.
couple calls actually right after this. So hopefully I'm texting you with some good news.
Hey. Let's go. Well, tell me more. Like, what's the long term vision here? Because you've got the foundation in place. You've got a setter, I think, already right now, right?
Yep.
A setter, and
Correct.
then you've got an assistant coach, right?
Yep.
So, what's the long term vision of where you want to take this thing?
Yeah, so next goal, I just left my 9 to 5. So the next goal with the wife being pregnant is to get her be able to retire from her job so she can just take care of the baby full time. So that's the next big step for me. But yeah, long term, it's kind of get to the point where I'm just kind of just doing content and just being the face of
Cool.
the brand. I have 4 or 5 assistant coaches under me, 2 or 3 setters, a closer, maybe two. You know, what I mean, that's the long term picture, 4 or 5 years down the road. But yeah, well, I'm just kind of just doing content as my main thing, and then not working 50 to 70 hour weeks anymore and being able to enjoy life with my little kid running around. So that's kind of long-term plan right there.
I love that. What do you think revenue wise you'll need to make that possible?
Probably at least 250,000 a month, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say at least 100 for sure. If you want all that for sure. I mean, 100 is great. A quarter million, 250K a month is like if you have the margins down right. Right being like let's just say 30%, at 250K, you're taking home 100K a month,
Right.
which is great. Like you've got enough infrastructure in play there where you can reinvest into key team players to where you
Right.
can be in your like zone of genius.
Yeah, 100%. That's the business long term, but long term outside of that, it's kind of be almost done. I have the plumbing business that's paying me still. I have trading the stock market as well. Ultimately, long term would be just trading the stock market because I can be done by 11 a.m. and be done for the day. Market's closed. I don't have to deal with people. That's the long term goal.
Yeah.
People. You know what I mean? You don't have to deal with people. Life's a lot more enjoyable. But for now, I love what I do. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
10, 15 years down the road, it's just we're living in a mountain home off the grid. That's the long term vision too. So
That's cool, man. I like that. I like that. It's a high cash flow business, right? If you set up right. And 30% margin, kind of talked about earlier, is like, yeah, that's where you'd want to be if you had a big team. But like you could be
mhm.
way more profitable and leaner if you just want it to be simple. Yeah, man, it's just such a high cash flow. Like you only really pay, a coach, someone to service your clients, that could be 20-ish%. And you got a setter, maybe it's 5%, a closer. If it's not you, it's 10%. And then you've got marketing on top of that. And it's like you use typically run ads to start to build your brand, but at a certain point you can actually like kind of turn the ads down as long as you're creating really good content. Because like for me, I mean, ads have grown my brand to where we make a lot of sales off organic. But when I started, I didn't have a following. It's like, how did I get it? I just showed up enough times on people's feeds to where they're like, oh, cool, this guy must know something, And
Yeah.
that's the game. It's like use ads, make money from the ads, reinvest it back into the brand, and eventually let the brand do the heavy lifting for you, and then you can just kind of put it on cruise control.
Absolutely. That'd be awesome, man.
That's cool. Any words of wisdom or advice for people who, were like you, just getting started? You went through a whole journey of like, all right, I'm just doing this thing, but like, what words of wisdom do you have for someone getting started?
You gotta believe, like it's as cliche as it sounds. You gotta believe it can happen. Like believe in yourself. Like there's a time where I'm like, I see people talk about 10K months, right? Which that's a great goal to get to. I just finally got there, but now it's like, okay, that's good, but that's not gonna be what you need to get to that next level of like the long-term vision I just talked about. But yeah, if you don't believe like you can do it, or if you're always worried about what people think when you post, that was my big one. I was terrified of like,
Yes.
oh, if I post this, like, what's my high school buddy I haven't talked to in 12 years gonna think? Like, who the fuck cares? Like, just now it's like I just post. If you follow me, like, especially on Twitter, I'm not as raw on Instagram, but on Twitter, like, I'm very raw, intense. Like, I will call out your bullshit, and I tweet what's my thoughts. You know what I mean? It's like I don't care now. So it's like complete 180 from where it was. Just post. If you don't think it's gonna be good, just post, and
Yeah.
then eventually just get in the habit of posting consistently, and you can fine tune it as time goes on. The content I posted back in college, God, I look back and just laugh. I kind of repurpose some of it now into like actual videos, but from where I was then to where I am now, like it got better with time, and it'll be in 5 years, it'll probably be even better. You know what I mean? So just keep posting whatever your thoughts are. If you want to do it, go all in on it. Don't just half-ass it. So like for me, I sacrificed my 5 to 9 at night. Most people, they might go to the gym, but most people, let's be real, are just sitting on a couch watching Netflix or playing video games. Like you're gonna have to give up all that. You're gonna have to give up your weekends. You know what I mean? Still try to live life, but majority of your free time that you're normally just relaxing is going to have to be sacrificed. Just for me, it's this office. Most of the time, I just turn off the light, lock the door, headphones in. I grind. You know what I mean? If you're not willing to
Yeah.
do that, you're not going to get what you want. So it's just a matter of what's your long term vision, figure it out, or reverse engineer from there.
Yeah, yeah, and then that's really like you said, just for that build up phase, because like you were doing the 9 to 5 with it, and then eventually when you can leave it, you can create better boundaries. Because guys, I have a 7 figure business. I still play video games after hours. I still watch Netflix, but the first like little bit, like it wasn't that way, and you know what I mean. It was
Yeah.
like I worked as a physical therapist, and before that, I wake up early in the morning, gym, build funnels, like build funnels, run ads, go see patients. Then I had online coaching clients for like one-on-one, and I was building a low ticket. I had like 3 or 4 different sources of income trying to make it all work until I got to the point where my online business was paying me, 10K a month take home. And then when I was like, cool, now I'm, bills are paid for because as you know now, like 10K revenue is not 10K take home. They're like, all right, you have 10K a month. And you're like, okay, cool. But how much are you taking home? It's like, hey, most of it's still going back in the business. I need to be making 30, 40K a month for me to actually comfortably pay myself 10, 20K a month, and I think most people don't realize that. And they're under the impression if I just get to 10K months, I'm good. There's a big difference between revenue and profit, and even then profit and how much like the stake take profit, then 30% of that profit's going to taxes. So it's like, it's not business. I don't want to like scare people, but it's not for the faint of heart. It is risky. It is a risk you're taking, and you got to have a strong mindset, or you got to develop it as you go, because business is one of the best personal development tools I think like that I've personally experienced.
No, 100%. Yeah. Doesn't mean anything if you have 10K in expenses. And then going back to believing yourself, like that's just to show like me believing in myself. When I left initially to start my first business, the plumbing business, I left a 6-figure IT job. I literally, my salary was cut in half to come on board. So I literally sacrificed half my salary because of my cool. I believe in the long-term vision. I believe in what we can do. And if I wasn't willing and okay with that, I wouldn't have been where I'm at now. So there's gonna be times you're gonna have to sacrifice. You know what I mean? You can get to that point where you can play video games and stuff, but be prepared to sacrifice a year or two at least to get to that point. So it's a matter of how bad you want it.
I love that, man. Well, cool. Let's wrap this thing up. How can people connect with you? If they want to connect with you, what's the best place to do it?
Yeah, so Instagram, I'm at Schober22, Schober. And then Twitter, it's Schober222. For some reason, somebody already took that from me, so I didn't go with that one.
DM, like, I'll pay you, bro. Give
I
me that
know.
handle.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Bailey, thanks so much for being here, man. I appreciate you. I really enjoyed working with you. I know the teams work with you. I've worked with you one-on-one, and that's what we're doing now. And yeah, man, excited to see you keep evolving, growing in this space, because you've got a really strong presence, and I know you really care about your delivery and the results you get. So thank you for being here and sharing some time with me.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, guys, that's all we got for today. If you guys want more videos like this, hit that subscribe button. Peace.